believe it. I believe it, Johnson. I believe it. Yeah. What up? What's going on? How y'all feeling? What's the word? Thunderbird. Get it up. What time is it? Is we in it? It's your man, Tim Black. Welcome back to another edition of Pause with Tim Black. Welcome to the show, Johnson. Glad you could make it. There were some other people, I was like, I don't care if they showed up, but as long as you are in the house, everything is okay. What up, people? Man, what's going on, man? I tell you, man, there's so much. I want to say hello to my people on Facebook, my people on YouTube, my people on, well, wherever else you at. I don't know. I don't know where everybody else is at, man. I really don't know. I ain't looking for them either. What is going on, Johnsons? We got it going on here, baby. We got this what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. My buttons are working. My buttons are working. I can push the buttons, Johnson. All right, so check this out. This is the Pause with Tim Black Show. It's a video podcast. We do this on Mondays and Wednesdays. We get it in. If you like this content, you say, okay, I see where he's going with that. I see what he's trying to do. We'll go to Pause with Tim Black, timblackpause.com. Become a member of the podcast. Follow the podcast. You know what to do. We everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Acast, Vcast, Bcast, the A-Wing, the B-Wing, the C-Wing too, and all the hallways that we walk through. So, man, I want to say what up to my moderators. I think I saw Keith Weston. I think I saw Courtney SLP. Sign of the Times. Who else is in the house? Let's see. I don't know. Let's see what we got. Let's see how accurate we were. Context matters and the crew. Yes. Natty, Craig A, DJ. What up? Glad you guys could show up. The topic of today's podcast is, I got time today. Yeah, I got time today, man. I got time to address it. You know, we got time to address the foolishness today. I put out some content earlier today. Actually, it was from last week's shows, but a lot of people don't catch the shows. They catch clips. And, you know, because of YouTube, well, that doesn't happen as much as it used to. I used to be able to put out a video about Toe Jam and get 30,000 views. It just was, it's what it is. Now, I put out content about, you know, important shit, and I'm lucky if 5,000 people see it. It's just the way it is. That's what they do. That's the algorithm. So, you know, you have to adapt to it. Here's the thing, guys. It's not just, I was thinking about this over the weekend, and I said, wow, is everyone a sellout or some people just get worn out? See, I believe everybody's not a sellout, they get worn out. Worn out. You get worn out with the nonsense. You get worn out with the fight. You get worn out with the critics. You get worn out with everybody with a fucking opinion. You get worn out with the system. You get worn out with the bad news. You get worn out with the frustration. You get worn out with the backstabbers, the fake friends. You get worn out with people wanting shit. Take. You get worn out with people saying, give me help, give me this, give me that, give me the other thing. People get worn out. See, I think we're overly simplistic. We look at things, we want it to just be evil and good. Yeah, because that makes life simpler. We already know we think we're the good ones. So if anybody we disagree with, or anybody that doesn't do what we do, or anybody that has any other opinions, thoughts, beliefs, pursuits, they're bad. That way we don't have to question ourselves. And since we're always holding ourselves up to the highest regard, we'll always see other people as bad. They're the ones in the wrong, not me. I'm right. So I'm going to ask you, have you ever thought about this? Like, this idea that maybe it's not that everyone's a sellout, but people get worn out. See, that's what I think. I think people get worn out. I know that I'm getting worn out. Oh yeah, I get worn out, Johnson. The amount of shit you got to put up with. See, if you just talk about nonsense, you don't care about it really. Who cares, man? You know, things that don't matter, it's just an opinion, you just say it, you keep it moving. But when you care about something, then you become emotionally connected to it. Now all of a sudden, when people are saying stupid shit, it gets to you. So that's why I love comedians. Because a comedian can say something, you don't know if they meant it for real, if it's just a joke. You know, it's a very recent thing where jokes became statements. All of a sudden in like 2017 or so, people started looking at jokes as statements. I never looked at it that way. But up until then, man, a comedian could say whatever they wanted to say, and they could just say, hey, man, I'm a comedian. I was just joking, Johnson. And they could walk away. But see, it's when we care about things, when we're serious, that's when you got the most riding on it, you know? See, I tend to believe, speaking for myself, man, that once I started really caring, oh, man, that's when it really became a thing where it starts wearing you down. Slowly over time, it starts grinding you down. She's just a nub. That's what politics does to you. Yeah, man, politics is horrible shit. Anybody who says they love politics, they're a narcissist. Or a wacko. Or they don't know what they're talking about. Because politics is dirty business. Man, you think I want to talk about politics? You think I want to do this shit? Every weekend I talk to Mrs. Black and I say, I should just go back to talking about regular shit. I should just go back to talking about things that happen in the world. Give my opinion about it. Sometimes it'll be funny, sometimes it'll be harsh, but they won't be worried about candidates. I won't be worried about no damn reparations. I won't be worried about no damn black agendas. I'll be worried about whatever's happening in the news, whatever's happening. Like Godfrey just talks about shit. Every Spears just talks about shit. You know? Tim Dillon, he just talks. You know, he's not fighting for a cause and then getting dragged by the same people that he's fighting for. Then getting stabbed in the back and tell he's a sellout and tells it, you know, labeled all these crazy things. Meanwhile, he doesn't care because he's making so much money and he's got his own circle. It's like, hey, it's jokes, get over it. He just keeps moving. Every other weekend I go through this. Every fucking weekend I'm like going through my head like, why am I doing this to myself? Why? There's a kid right now somewhere on YouTube making millions of dollars just talking about Battlestar Galactica or Star Wars action figures. Like, this world is so full of distractions. If you try to focus on shit that matters, and it's the hardest thing in the world, and you got the most resistance. You get blackballed and labeled and hacked. There are times people try to break into my accounts. I mean, dog, the amount of hate mail and death threats and shit, I never got that when I was just having a good time. I never experienced it when I was just talking about some dummy who was dumb enough to jump in the lion's den or swim with the fucking alligators. You know, I covered those stories back in 2015. We had a ball. Remember, one of the funniest stories I covered was this kid who got bad grades, and his dad was pissed off, so his dad made him bring his Xbox and his PS, whatever it was, and he made the kid break it with a sledgehammer. I did that video on the segment I called Judge Tim Black, with the robe, with the gavel, with the green screen, on a bench, you know, sort of like what Steve Harvey's doing now. I was doing that in 2015, and that video did like 4 million views or something. 4 million views. And no one was mad at me. No one called me a sellout. No one said I was cooning. No one threatened to kill me. No one said they hope cops shoot me. Nobody, nothing. Nothing, Johnson. No one said you're a token for the Democrats, or no one said you support the Russians, or you support Trump, or this. Nothing, Johnson. What I'm trying to tell you is that people don't sell out, they get worn out. They get worn out, Johnson. They get tired. They say, what's this for? What's it for? I got people holding me to a higher scrutiny than they hold Jim Clyburn. And I ain't been elected to shit. I ain't ran for nothing. I haven't sworn an oath to anything. They hold me to a higher standard than they hold AOC. You should see the mail I get. You should get look at this, look at that, do this. What about that? What about this? What about And these aren't even people that support the show. These are just people with opinions. People don't just sell out to get worn out, Johnson. I'm trying to tell you, anybody that does good, that tries. I'm not saying we're saints, but anybody that tries to do good, they got a similar story, man. Because that ain't what America wants. America don't want that. When I say America, I mean us. Americans don't want substance. They said they want substance. They don't want substance. We want to escape. We want to escape. We don't even want to know what's happening in our own country. We don't want to know. We don't want to know that 40 vets commit suicide damn near every day. You don't want to know it. That's enough reason right there to say, hold everything. Stop. If America doesn't care about veterans, the people that go fight these shitty wars, enough to get them help, you think they would possibly care about you? They don't even care about the people that put their lives on the line and go to war for them. To preserve democracy and spread democracy abroad. They don't even care about those people. Babies. Our infant mortality rate is damn near, in the black community, it's like third world shit. It's like two different Americas. But even if you look at white America, it's not good. Our healthcare sucks, but it's worse for black people. But it sucks for everyone. It's like the worst healthcare of all white countries in the world. We have the worst shit. You think people really care about that? No. No, put up a new reality show. What did Kanye say today? Is Britney Spears going to be free from her conservatorship? What's going to be on Netflix? How's Hulu going? Is Walking Dead still on? Who won the finals? I heard Tom Brady's coming back. That's what people care about. They don't care about this other shit. So you got a few people that care about these things. And then they get crucified for caring about them. Also, see, we're going to mess up. Today, I'm going to destroy all your sacred cows. I'm going to put 2 on them and leave them there to die and bake in the sun. Because I'm tired of people acting like they don't understand. I'm tired of people not getting this. Some of the people that you hate have the biggest heart, Johnson. Some of the people that you hate have the biggest hearts. I shit you not. This is what I believe. I believe most people that go into media or politics had good intentions. Then they get smacked with a baseball bat of reality. Then they get smacked with a baseball bat with reality. A baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire like The Walking Dead, like Negan's baseball bat. Remember Negan's baseball bat wrapped in the barbed wire? They smacked dude upside the head, the redhead dude, the ginger. Knocked his brains out of his head, right there in front of the whole crew. That's what he did. Benjamin, that was his name. He smacked the shit out of Benjamin. Right in front of his old lady. That's reality. That's what happens on the job. Same thing happens to police. Or you think every cop that goes in is a horrible mofo? It takes time to become that horrible. It takes time. It takes doing. Our system creates bad politicians. Our system creates bad actors. It creates bad cops. You know how I know it creates bad cops and it's not the people going in? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are psychos. Don't get me wrong. I'm never talking in absolutes. I'm talking generally speaking, Johnson. Let's pretend to be logical. It happens too routinely not to be a system. It happens too regularly not to be a system. How can everybody sell out if that's not the system that does it? It's too consistent. How could you have so many people in Congress not getting shit done unless the system wants it that way? I remember this story about Ronald Reagan. He loved jelly beans, right? Ronald Reagan famously loved jelly beans. So it was crazy. There was a rumor that I think it was Russia or some foreign country or a terrorist was trying to kill the president by poisoning our jelly beans. So America had to find the tainted jelly beans because it may end up with the president. I know it's a crazy story, but this is what I'm saying. So America expended the resources to track down the suspected contaminated jelly beans. And we're talking about billions of jelly beans. Billions of jelly beans coming to the country or manufactured or whatever. They had to inspect the jelly beans because now it became a national security risk that somehow the president may be poisoned by jelly beans that are tainted in a plot, a scheme to take out the president of the United States. So they went about methodically inspecting the jelly beans. I don't even know if they ever found the tainted jelly beans or if it was just a hoax. But what it says is that America has the ability to track down bad jelly beans. Small jelly beans, little jelly beans. But you think it can't pass a fucking bill. Yeah, you think they can track down a tainted jelly bean, but they can't pass healthcare? They can't get cops to wear body cameras. They can't clean up the water if they wanted to. They can't make, like Chris Rock says, they can't make a Cadillac that the bumper don't fall off. They don't want to. Yeah, man. I don't think people sell out. I think they get worn out. They get worn out, man. They get to the point that go, you know what, man? I'm one guy. I'm one woman. What can I do? What am I doing? I'm a freaking idiot. I'm up here fighting a system by myself. I'm getting thrown under the bus for it. I have no idea if it's getting any better. I hope it's getting better, but I have no proof. And I'm broke and I'm poor and I'm starving. And I could catch cancer tomorrow. I may already have it. And my life is limited. Time is short. And half the people hate me because they don't agree with me. And the other half, they say they love me, but they're not going to die for me. So at the end of the day, what am I doing? And people get worn out, Johnson. So I think we got an overly simplistic, hot, cold, good, bad view. I think it's distorted. I don't think it's true. I think our system is so bad off, people don't want to face it. They don't want to pay attention. You know, Clarence Thomas recently got sick. And people were cheering for this mofo to die. I saw people dancing. They were doing the James Brown, hoping Clarence Thomas bit the big one. Now look, I know I was told not to like him years ago. I forget why I didn't like him. I know they need to hear stuff. That he's allegedly a scumbag, harasser of women. You know. But like his other stuff, I know he's like conservative. But there are a lot of conservatives. You know? I forget why I don't like him. But I know it was a reason. It was a good reason. But, you know, maybe the media told me not to like him. But still, there are a lot of people cheering for this guy to, like, walk into the great beyond. You know what I'm saying? Just to leave. Just, you know, they you know. And my thing is, wow, people really hate this guy. They really hate his policies. They really hate him. And some people really love him, I got to assume. Because that's how divided the country is. Like, some people like him, some people hate him. So, I'm like reading this thing about him. Once upon a time, his biggest influence, before he became Justice Thomas, he was a Malcolm X guy. He was a militant black nationalist. Malcolm X disciple or something. Like, he looked up to, now he wasn't on that Martin Luther King shit, he was on the Malcolm X shit. I didn't know this. Something turned the Malcolm X guy into Clarence Thomas. He wasn't that. He was Malcolm X. Loving Malcolm X follower, Malcolm X reader, Malcolm X studier, Malcolm X embodiment, the ideology of Malcolm X. That guy turned into Clarence Thomas. Same guy. I'm saying it's the system, Joe. How do you do that? Something did that. We want to think it's just him. He just said, you know what? I'm such a sellout. I want to be the sellout. I want to forget what black people. Forget civil rights. Forget all this shit, you know? Forget all these things. Forget all the stuff we had to fight for. To beg, to fight, scratch, die, be crucified for, be tortured to get. Forget all of that. Blame us for our own situation. Yeah. Blame ourselves. Nah, man, like, there's gotta be more to it. But we don't want to think about it. Maybe just got tired of people calling us sellout. So he's like, oh, you're a sellout? I'm a sellout? Okay. Like a guy who gets tired of his, of his wife telling him he's a cheater, or he says, oh, I'll fix this. Then he goes out and cheats, and now he fulfills it, and now, you told me, you kept saying I was doing it. Why you keep staying after work late? I'm not doing anything, I'm working. Women, men, they do this, they push each other away. So I thought long and hard about this. Not about Clarence Thomas. But I thought long and hard about this whole idea that everyone's a sellout and that it's just the way it is. I think people get worn out, Johnson. I remember I had this conversation with Dr. Cornel West, man. And we were talking about John Lewis, the late John Lewis. And this was before he had passed away. It's a couple of years ago. And I was saying how John Lewis became this tool for the establishment, how he was a tool for the Democrats. And I remember Cornel West, Dr. West, was like, oh, my brother, we don't want to think so harsh. Don't move so fast, my brother. Oh, no, my brother. We have to have grace. It's like, what you mean grace, man? You have to arrest this guy. Carried water for the Democrats so much, it was like he was a water dispenser. He was like the igloo thing, the thing that push, you put your cup up and push the button, and there's the water. He's carrying the water. He's got all the water for the Democrats. He carries everything for the Democrats. I don't think this guy fought for black people at all after the 60s. Fought for himself. Dr. Corder was like, oh, my brother. It's a long road, my brother, it's a long road. The brother that was in the jails when they hit him in the head, when they hit him with rocks. He was that brother. We may not always be who we were. Doesn't mean we weren't once much more. The system has the way of turn down, brothers. Turn us down. I was like, wow, let me think about it. Let me think about what he's saying. Let me not be so cut and dry with it. It's not that we forgive people for what they do, that we overlook the reality, but how the guy go from Pettis Bridge, head split, damn near killed, to the guy dancing with Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Like, how that happened? Once upon a time, willing to risk his life. Once upon a time, lay down his life for what he believed in. Willing to do that. At any time, any of those guys, whether it be MLK, Malcolm X, John Lewis, Jesse Jackson, any fighter, Medgar Evers, Abernathy, any brother, sister from that time could be lynched or killed by cops, taken out, shot in the head. I mean, that's what they were doing. They were killing freedom riders. They were killing people, disappearing them. Bombing their houses. There was like 50 bombings in Birmingham, Alabama. People don't even talk about how horrible it was. They don't talk about the terroristic acts that took place that were mostly sanctioned by the police that looked the other way or either participated in it. We got kids, college students, buried in ditches. Well, just for wanting to integrate. That's it. Believing that black people and white people could live in one place and could live around each other, could date who they wanted or live where they wanted. That was enough to get you killed. Wanting to vote was enough to get you killed. Trying to vote was enough to get you killed. So these brothers and sisters, then 20 years later, some of them are just like, got government jobs and taking money and forgot all about the struggle. It's easy to say those people are sellouts. I think the system has a way of wearing people down, Johnson. Grinding them down, grinding them down into a fine powder. And then we don't know what's going on because we're not in it. We just, we want solutions. We want problems solved. And we need someone to blame. Because if we blame the system and we admit the system is doing this to good people, that it's turning good people into horrible things, or that they were all just lying, that they never cared about anything, that it was all a lie, that helps us avoid the fact that we could do the same thing. That no one is immune to going in the system, to going in the belly of the beast and coming out the other end and being a different thing than you were when you went in. That's scary shit. Literally scary shit. That these people could start out being as revolutionary and then go through these processes, this system. And then look, and I know like in corporate America where I worked in corporations. I had no idea how it was going to be until I got there. I thought I wanted a big-time job. I wanted to carry a suitcase. When I was a kid, I was like, I want a big job. My dad worked construction his whole life. I thought maybe I could write. So I wanted to be a writer. Then I was like, well, can't be a writer because it doesn't pay money. I better get a good job, better do something. So I went into IT, and then I learned, man, once you get in these companies, it's not the promised land. You're just a number. It's racism, discrimination, classism, sexism, racism, classism, sexism, racism. Then just corporate bullshit. People hiring their cousin over you. You got to train this moron because he's the nephew of your boss, or the manager's sleeping with this person, and this person getting a promotion over you because they just like him. All I'm saying is it's all screwed up. I mean, everywhere you look, they want us, like right now, they want us to think Russia's the only screwed up place. They want us to think Russia is like the hell, and Putin is distinctly evil mofo. Like there are other evil people, even in our own government. Like our systems aren't evil. Like we don't do heinous shit. Like other countries don't do heinous shit. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about it. And it's difficult because you can't just say, you don't want to get nobody a pass. Because we want people to aspire to do better. We want people to forego the nonsense. We want people to stand up to the system. But it's hard as hell. Because everything around you wants you to conform to the system. People talk about AOC. AOC's not a fighter like she was. She said she's going to fight. You're supposed to go break the system. By yourself? By yourself, Johnson. Go break the system. I'm not saying you shouldn't go do everything you can. We need like 100 people. We need like 100 people. We need more than 100 people. All that money, all those special interests, all the people in your ear saying, hey, you could do more good if you just shut the fuck up. Maybe you could do a lot better if you just shut up. We can get rid of you too. You start thinking, oh, I'm going to go back to my waiting tables. I mean, this is what they do to people. I know that's what they do to actors and actresses and performers and vocalists, artists. Get a little taste of the good life, and then they say, I'm going to take it from it. Now, if you never get it, if you never have it, yeah, a little bit, because you never had it. You can't miss what you haven't had. But once you get it, oh, they got you. I believe that, man. Once you get it, they got you. Because now they can take it from you. Now you want to keep it. Now you start living a certain way. Yeah, I know everyone wants to say that they'll risk it all, they'll throw it all away. How many people really want to do that? America's a place where you could be high and fly today and tomorrow be living on the street and people will just step over your ass. Literally step over you. We step over vets. America says, look, America doesn't really care about anybody. It loves cops because it wants the image of loving cops. But cops are more likely to die killing themselves because the job sucks than they are likely to die at the hands of a criminal. More cops die via suicide. When's the last time you heard people saying, but we need mental health checks for cops? Now, they'll say you're wrong if you say you want to defund the police, reallocate resources, restructure the police. Meanwhile, we got cops dying from substance abuse, beating the hell out of their wives, and suicide. January 6th. Somehow the media overlooked. They talk about all the bad things that happened January 6th, about the insurgency. There were like 4 cops' deaths, and 3 of them were suicides. Instead, they made the whole focus about the people that went into the Capitol. What about the officers that took their own lives? They took their own lives. Why? No one talked about it. Because they don't really care. Look, I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to speculate why people do that. I'm not going to speculate why those officers did that. But I got to imagine they weren't happy. Happy people don't commit suicide. Oh, happy people don't burn down a city either. Okay? Happy people don't burn down buildings. Yeah. That's what happy people don't do. So I'm just telling you, man, I don't think everyone's a sellout, and I don't think everyone is horrible. I think our systems are horrible. And I got time today because people say ignorant things. My problem is, I don't think they're trolling. I think some people believe it. Like, take gas prices. A couple people on Facebook, I made a post about gas prices. It was a picture. It was a literal picture of gas being like over $7 in some place. Maybe it was San Francisco. I don't know where it was. Okay. If you saw the comments underneath that picture, the people that think that all Biden has to do is go, lower gas. And that's it. Real talk, that's what they think. They really think that shit. That Biden could just walk up and go, and all the gas across the country would fall. They believe it. And see, that's why I think they were able to raise it so high, because they know half the people won't blame them anyway. They'll be too busy blaming Biden. Because that's how stupid we are. They'll watch Fox News or some other horrible, there are even worse places than Fox News, you know that, right? There's also CNN. You get my point, though. I believe that we are so screwed up that we think that he could just push a button and gas prices go down. Just boom. And I think us thinking that way means they get to boost them up because they know you'll blame him instead of blaming them. And I think the system's going to allow it to work this way. The systems get used against us. The systems they use to make money, they use them against all of us. And some of us either win or we get worn out. We either hope that we can join the elite. We want to join the 1%. That's what some people think. They think they're going to all get rich too. So they don't even want to change the system because, hold on, man, I might get rich. No talent. No special skill. But they believe it because they watched all the movies. Now realizing the system is built so that most of us don't make it. If most of us made it, the system would break. It's got to have our system is made to have very few winners and a whole lot of losers. It used to be even worse with that. Then America decided that if we didn't create a middle class, they were going to literally kill the rich. And I say middle class, I mean a white middle class. GI Bill. New Deal. But I don't think everyone's a sellout. I think some people get worn out. I think some people are just scared to go back to nothing, and some people are trying to get away from having nothing. Some people just want to escape. So, I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about this weekend. I was thinking about this video I put out of the woman who was upset with the money Joe Biden and America gave to Ukraine. And it's not just Ukraine, it's all these entities. It's the money we pass back and forth between Saudi Arabia and other countries. And then when America says, when Americans need help, they go, well, where are we going to get money from? Oh, you want money to grow on trees. You think money grows on trees. You just want a handout. Oh, you mean like the one we give annually to other countries? You mean those? Oh, okay. You know, I'm not even convinced those are real people saying it. I don't even know if there's real people saying it. It could all be bots and paid actors. I don't know. Are people that dumb that they don't realize this is a racket? It's a scheme. They don't get it. They really don't know that 40% of the budgets in some states all go to law enforcement. 40%. People don't realize that half of our budget goes to military. Over 50% of our annual budget goes to military. That the food stamp line, I put out a grant not too long ago. It was a nice little graph. It was easy to see like how much money went to stuff. Like in the slither for like food stamps that people used to complain about in the 80s and 90s about all the welfare queens and stuff. The amount of people, the amount of money America spends on food stamps is like a tiny, tiny, tiny slither. It's like 3% or 5% of the budget. Meanwhile, 50% goes to bombs and shit. And you complain about the 5% to American citizens who, if they make $1, they can pay taxes. You complain about what they get. That's how good racism. Racism is great for that, man. We all know you wouldn't give a shit if it went to people other than black people, other than the minorities. It's too small an amount of money for you to be worried about. If you look at the pie, and you look at literally. So take time. I don't want to put any graphics in this. But take time and go look at the grid. And look at the slithers of where shit goes. You should be ashamed of yourself if you ever complain about something like Meals on Wheels or need welfare or something. It's so small, Johnson. So, and I think the people that know, they get worn down trying to tell the rest of the world. And the people that are trying to fight it, they get worn down trying to fight it. And then someone shows up and offers them a job. And then they want to go to, Disney World. Or they want to buy a boat. Or they want to go on a honeymoon. Or they want to buy a house. Or they want to watch Netflix and chill. Because even freedom fighters and revolutionaries want to enjoy their time on Earth. Yeah, there's always that, right? I got time today, though. If you sit around and you're thinking that everyone's bad except you, I got news for you. There are a lot of good people in this world doing a lot of good shit every day. You just never hear about them. Because that's not what media focuses on. And why does the media focus on it? Because most people don't care. They want drama. Come on, if you're scrolling and you hear the sound of two animals fighting, you stop. You stop. You stop for the car wreck. How much do you stop for the hug? Come on, Johnson. We're wired to pay attention to the travesties, the drama. I didn't make it this way. It's just the way it is. But if you're sitting around pointing fingers going, these people are the problem, you need to realize you're part of the problem. We're all a part of the problem. And I'm telling you, it's hard to fight it. It's hard to fight it. The scrutiny that you're under, the pressure you're under, not to mention the relentless mountain of shit. Oh, the amount, it never stops. Every day it's a new body. Every day there's a new death. Every day it's something bad and worse. It feels like it's not getting better. You know how many candidates I've supported who didn't win? The only candidate that I supported that won was Cory Bush. You know how many candidates I supported who were running against candidates that I wanted to get out of office? I was talking to my wife about this, Mrs. Black, over the weekend. I supported Paula Swearingen twice to try to get rid of Joe Manchin. If we would have succeeded, and the people really gave a shit, but they don't, we wouldn't even have had Joe Manchin in a way, because we would have had Paula Swearingen in. There goes your Joe Manchin problem. All taken care of, but people didn't want to support it, and it didn't work, or she got robbed, or whatever we want to call it. How many losses can you take and still feel good? How many losses can you have where you still just dust yourself off and get up and go another day? It ain't easy. It ain't easy. Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida, I wanted her gone, man. Horrible. Destroying, just taking money from Big Sugar. Environmental destruction going on in Florida. Helps Republicans more than she helps Democrats, but says she's a Democrat. At this point, who gives a shit? They're the same party, right? Slight differences. But there was a guy running against her who was much better, who supported health care, ending mass incarceration, legalizing marijuana. At least that, they robbed his ass. And when we went to find out how much he lost by and count the ballots, they broke the law and destroyed the ballots so we couldn't even count them. Yeah, it's tough, man. Oh, it's tough. And no one went to jail for it. They literally threw away the ballots they were supposed to keep for like 3 years. They threw them away in a couple of months before we could recount. So these things happen. People get frustrated. You get worn down. You get worn down over time. Worn down, worn down, worn down. Every time we turn on, it's a new Trayvon Martin. It's a Laquan McDonald. It's a Sandra Bland. It's a Breonna Taylor. It's a Terrence Crutcher. It's George Floyd. It's a new dead person. New death, new murder. They won't change the system. They won't end qualified immunity. It gives cops carte blanche. Every once in a while, they throw us a little bone. Here goes the guy. You got him. Then I read a report. Here it is. Then I read a report, guys, that shows they've been undercounting cop murders for the last 20 years by half. Like 50% of cop murders weren't even reported. People killed by cops. 50% of them. And the thing about it, this the worst part, because that's not the worst part. The same people, when I said, hey, this is bad, when you do something about cops killing citizens, they said, it's just a couple of them. And when they found out the number was undercounted by 50%, they still said, so what? It's not, it's not a lot. You're worried about that. You should be worried about something else. Why do you care that when you're, the people that you call kill you? The people... Yeah, you could be killed by a criminal. So since you could be killed by a criminal, or catch a bullet from a stray bullet, you shouldn't care about people who are hired with a badge and gun who kill you. So anyway, I don't know. I guess I wanted you just to be as upset as I am or be just as angry as I am about all this shit. I don't know. And it may sound like I'm really pissed off. It may sound like I'm, defeated. I'm not defeated. It's just every once in a while, when I'm reading the comments, when I'm getting the email, when people are continually telling me, don't believe your lying eyes. They continue to tell me it's all about class. It's not about race. They continue to sell me a bunch of shit. They continue to try to manipulate, to push, to pull. I say, you know what? I'm going to make time to tell you what I think about you. I don't hope that Clarence Thomas succumbs to his infection. I would like to know why it's okay for his wife to make all this money, $500,000 from the Heritage Foundation, and it never be reported. Never be reported. And how that's okay. Just seems a little weird. But we know why, man. He's Clarence Thomas, that's why. If it was your broke ass or my broke ass who didn't report earnings for 5 years, they had more than something to say about it. I can tell you that shit. All right, guys. Hey, look, don't feel upset. Don't be depressed. Don't be angry about it. Just know the problems, when we talk about individuals, and yeah, we got to hold them accountable. But we got a system at work. We have a system at work. And I don't want to put it all on the individuals because I don't think if you take that individual out, that system stays in place. Even if we pull out the worst propagator of fake news, the worst gaslighting, false narrative, the worst lying politician, right? It keeps going. That's how I know it's the system. All right, guys, tomorrow, phone lines are open for the Tim Black Show, as they always do. You can call up, and you can say how you feel about whatever, and alert the world to what's going on in your neighborhood or in your state or some news that you think is important. That's the beauty of the show. People get to talk, and they're all on me to put it together. I got people that call up and make that happen, so be here tomorrow to make that happen. Be a part of it. I'm not saying it's over, but what I'm saying is we got to grow up. And it's easy, it's convenient to hate individuals. But if you don't hold the system accountable as much as you hold individuals, we'll never fix this shit. It'll be here. And our grandkids will be sitting right where we are, if we're lucky. Because we may get wiped out. May not be no more people. Maybe people have had their run. I'm not so sure we have it. But since I got a new grandbaby, I hate for that to be the case. But if we got to focus on systems as well. It can't just be about individuals. It can't just be about Kanye West saying some shit about D.L. Hughley. It can't just be, the Trump sons are a bunch of idiots. They are idiots. But it can't just be that. That can't be the whole story. It can't just be Trump's Orange Man Band. It can't just be Nancy Pelosi's shit. She is. Yeah. Both things can be true. I'm Tim Black. Find me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Tim Black and that on Instagram. I'm over there too. I'm also on TikTok, believe it or not. Though my son got all the views. Because he's not talking about politics. All right, guys, that's all I got. Shout out to Context Matters. Shout out to Lana Dale. Shout out to Ethan Osborne. I appreciate y'all. Wolfpack.